Happy day students. Welcome to class 7 English, unit number 3, Homesickness. This lesson, Homesickness, was written by Roald Dahl. This story is an adapted extract from Roald Dahl's Boy Tales of Childhood. Let's discuss some of the interesting facts about Roald Dahl. Roald Dahl was a British writer of short stories, novels, and poems. Roald Dahl wrote about his boyhood years and early career in the book called Boy and Going Solo. This is the cover page of the book. Before getting into the summary of the story, let's discuss few important things. Look at the very first question. Have you ever been to boarding schools or hostels before? Yes, few people would have been to boarding schools, right? My next question is, if not, have you ever come across someone who has been to boarding schools or hostels? Sometimes we will come across our cousins or siblings who had been to hostels, right? Moving on to the third question. Do you think you know what is best for you, or do you take the advice of elders? Exactly. Being small children, we must take the advice of elders to take better decisions, isn't it? Let's discuss about autobiography. Autobiography will be a true story of one's own life. Usually, it will be written in first person. It includes important events in the author's life. In the autobiography, the author remains the main character. The narrative is related from the author's perspective. Let's discuss some of the characters of the story. The main character is Roald Dahl, and the second character is his sister, and the third character is the matron, and the final and important character is Dr. Dunbar. Let's get into the summary of the story. Roald Dahl was homesick during his first term at St. Peter's. He set about making a plan for getting himself sent back to home. His idea was that he should all of a sudden develop an attack of acute appendicitis. He had sound reasons for trying it. Only a month before, his elder sister actually had appendicitis, and for several days before her operation, he was able to observe her behavior at close quarters. Immediately, he went upstairs and knocked on the matron's door. "Come in," boomed a voice. Roald Dahl entered the room, clutching his stomach and staggering pathetically. "You have been overeating," the matron snapped, and ordered him to get on the bed. Roald Dahl laid down on the bed, and she began prodding his tummy with her fingers. When she hit what he guessed was the appendix, he cried out, "Ow, ow, ow! Don't, matron, don't! I have been sick all, and he added, nothing left to be sick with, but I still feel sick. This made the matron hesitate. A doctor arrived, and he went through the same prodding and poking, and he did his helping at what he thought were the proper times. The matron returned later and said, your mother is coming to fetch you this afternoon. He just lay there trying to look very ill, but his heart was singing all sorts of wonderful songs. He was taken home and he felt so wonderful at being away from the school. That afternoon, he had a session with Dr. Dunbar in Cardiff, and he tried over same tricks all over again. After he had prodded Roald Dahl's stomach, he had done his helping routine. He asked him with a penetrating but not unkindly eye, you're faking, aren't you? Roald Dahl nodded miserably. What will you tell the school? He asked, trembling. I will say you had a very severe infection of the stomach, which I'm curing with pills, he answered, smiling. It will mean that you must stay home for 3 more days. But you must promise me that you will never do this again. I promise, Roald Dahl replied. He also promised that he will never do that again. Thus, Dr. Dunbar helped Roald Dahl to overcome his homesickness, and he also made Roald Dahl to realize his mistakes. Yes, in this story, we can easily relate to the childhood trick played by the speaker. And the story was helpful to analyze the speaker's character and his level of confidence at different times. We also identified the autobiographical elements in the story and the importance of supporting characters and their roles in the development of the story. I hope this video will be helpful for you to learn this lesson, homesickness. Have a good day. Thank you, students.